Chapter 2, Transactions Affecting the Accounting Equation, Part 3. A quick review of the essential outcomes. You are largely using the accounting equation to record transactions into their debit and credit parts, analyzing T accounts. Determining debit and credit side of T accounts video. Please stop the video for a review of Chapter 2, Part 2. Watch the video given to you on Edpuzzle. You will find the link on Google Classroom. Make sure you answer all questions in the video. After finishing the video, please take your Google Form quiz. You will find the link in Google Classroom. Make sure you review before taking the quiz. When you finish the quiz, return to this PowerPoint video. August 12th. Receive cash from sales, $295. Which two accounts are affected? Receive cash. We know that our cash account is affected. And how did we receive it? From sales. So we know our sales account will be affected. How is each account classified? We know that cash is an asset and sales is classified underneath owner's equity. How is each classification changed? We receive cash, so our cash account is going to increase, and we receive sales, which means owner's equity will increase because sales increases the value of the business. So that will be increased as well. So we have two increases. How is each amount entered? Since we are increasing cash, we know that cash increases on the debit side. We are increasing sales, which is effect on owner's equity is to increase on the credit side. So we have a debit and a credit. Thus, our accounting equation is in balance. August 12th, sold services on account to Oakdale School, $350. Which two accounts are affected? Sold services. We know that our sales account is affected. How did we sell it? On account. So accounts receivable will also be affected. So we have accounts receivable, Oakdale Schools, and sales. How is each account classified? We know that accounts receivable is an asset. Sales is owner's equity. How is each classification changed? We are increasing the amount owed to us, so accounts receivable will increase, and our services will also increase owner's equity. So we have two increases. How is each amount entered in the accounts? Our accounts receivable will be debited since it is increasing, and our sales account will also be credited because it is increasing. So we have a debit and a credit. August 12th, paid cash for rent, $300. What two accounts are affected? We know that we paid cash, so cash is affected, and we paid for rent. So we know rent expense will be affected. So our two accounts, rent expense and cash. How is each account classified? We know that rent expense is an owner's equity account and cash is an asset. How is each classification changed? We know that expense accounts decrease the value of the business, so owner's equity will be decreased. Cash paid out also decreases what we have in our cash account. So we have two decreases. How is each amount entered in the accounts? We know that rent expense will be debited because its overall effect is a decrease on owner's equity. However, in the rent expense account itself, the debit normal balance will be the increase side. We also know that cash will decrease, so that will be credited. So we have a debit and a credit. August 18th, receive cash on account from Oakdale School, $200. Which two accounts are affected? We know that cash will be affected, and since we received it on account, accounts receivable will be affected. How is each account classified? We know that both of these accounts are assets, thus only one side of the accounting equation is being impacted, thus we will need an increase and a decrease. So we have two assets. How is each classification changed? By receiving cash, our cash account will increase, and by receiving cash on account, Oakdale School owes us less money, so their account will decrease. So how do we record these amounts? We are going to show the increase on the debit side of the cash account, and accounts receivable will show a decrease on the credit side. August 12th, paid cash to owner for personal use, $125. What two accounts are affected? We know that cash will be affected, and since this is for personal use, our drawing account will be affected. So, drawing and cash. How is each account classified? We know that our drawing account is an owner's equity account, and our cash account is an asset. How is each classification changed? Our drawing account's overall effect on owner's equity is to decrease owner's equity. Thus, we are going to debit our drawing account. If you notice in the Kim Park drawing account debit side, there's an arrow that shows an increase. That increase is because the dollar value inside that T account will increase, but its overall effect on owner's equity will be a decrease. So we are going to have two decreases since cash will also decrease. How do we show these entries? We are going to debit our drawing account and credit cash. A summary of our accounts. When you are recording daily transactions, you will never ever credit an expense account. When you are recording daily transactions, you will never ever credit a drawing account. When you are recording daily transactions, you will never ever debit a revenue account. And when recording daily transactions, you will never ever debit capital. How do we record properly into a T account? If we look in the cash in the bank account, we are going to see a series of transactions both on the left side or the debit side and on the credit side. On the debit side, the dates should line up on the left side and the dollar amounts should line up on the right side. On the credit side, the dates line up on the left side and the dollar amounts on the right side. It is best to try and line up dollar amounts by ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. Debiting and crediting of capital using T accounts video. Please stop this video and go to Google Classroom to access the video called Debiting and Crediting of Capital Accounts Using T Accounts. Answer all the questions in the video. When you finish, review the video and then take your Google Form quiz located on Google Classroom. Please return to this video PowerPoint when you finish. It is now time to complete 2-3 work together. Please open up your book to page 44. You will need your working page 25. Please complete the assignment. If you need assistance, please let me know. Once you have finished this assignment, please return to this PowerPoint for further instruction. You have just finished the PowerPoint video presentation. Please go to your Chapter 2 student rubric on the class website to see what application problems you are to complete.